Hi, good evening, friends. I hope you've had a very lovely day and it's a new week. And today I'm going to be discussing on the attitude of a Christian to money. It's not going to be a very long one, but there is a very popular verse, Matthew 6:33, that a lot of us know. It's not going to be a very long one, but there is a very popular verse, Matthew 6:33. There is an that echo. A lot of us know. It's not going to be a very long one. Okay. But there is a very popular verse, Matthew 6:33. There is an echo. A lot of us know. All right. All right. So there's a technical glitch that took me away briefly, and I'm back again. That's one of the travails of living in a country like Nigeria. Well, not a problem. So Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, is actually a very popular verse. And sometimes some Christians take it to mean that Christians are not supposed to maybe love money or to have money making as a goal, which quite all right is very true. However, this is part one, and tonight we'll be looking at least two things. The first one is that one, the Christian is not to love money. Definitely, we are first of all to love God and seek first after the things of God and its righteousness. And we also know that the love of money is the root of all evil, which some people have actually chased after and pierced themselves with many sorrows. The second thing is that the Christian actually should not chase after wealth. We shouldn't chase after wealth. The Christian is always supposed to chase after God. And so, in as much as we know that, okay, yes, we're going to need money, but that money should not be our primary goal. Then the second thing is that the Christian is a creator or distributor of wealth. In Deuteronomy, I think it says that it teacheth my hands to make wealth. It teacheth my hands to make wealth. And I think that verse was actually talking about the fact that we should not boast. We should realize that God is our source. When you make wealth or you have something tangible that you have achieved as a Christian, you have money, you should never see it as, oh, with my hands I've built this. Rather, you should see it as, it is with God that I have been able to achieve this. Now, some other people might ask the question that, what about those who don't even know God, but yet they have been able to make wealth and they have been able to achieve wealth? And on that aspect, I will say, yes, the Bible is clear about the principles of how wealth is built. The parable of the talents actually did say something. If we look closely at it, it shows that there were three persons or three servants that were given talents, which is, in other words, money. One was given 5, and that person multiplied it and made 5 more. Another was given 2. That same person multiplied it and gave, and then multiplied and had 2 more. And one was given 1. A servant was given 1, and he went and buried it. That parable tells us that for the one who works with what he has been given, there is a multiplication. But for the one, because Jesus will finally end it and say that he who does not have, what he has will be taken from him and given to the person that has. So wealth is about multiplying value. If as a Christian, you sit at home and you decide that, okay, I'm going to go to church, clap my hands, pray to God, and magically God will just give me wealth. I tell you, you're not going to make any wealth. You're not going to make any money, because you will be disproving what God said, that he who does not work should not eat. God expects us to work. He expects us to multiply value. And it is the work of our hands that he will actually bless. Another thing I would like to talk on this episode is that the Christian is actually someone that distributes wealth. Christians don't, or a Christian should not build wealth to hoard it or to keep it only for himself. A Christian should never be the person that, takes what he has and then stores it for long, maybe like until he has billions and trillions in storage. No. The mindset that we have as Christians is that we distribute wealth. Some people will say, oh, and that's the reason why we give tithes. Well, in the olden days or in the olden testament, giving of tithes was supposed to be the way maybe the Israelites distributed to the community. They were asked to actually bring their tithes to the storehouse so that it can be, pulled together and used for community good. For maybe other needs, like for instance, people who farmed in Israel then were also told that when they want to harvest their farm produce, they should not harvest everything. They should leave like the edges or the margins of the produce, so that the poor or those who do not have anything to eat can take from it. If you remember the story of Ruth, Ruth went to the farm to like work, and then she was given some aspects or some remnants of the farm produce to actually take back home to her mother-in-law. So the Christian does not hoard wealth. We don't believe in just gathering wealth for the sake of gathering it. Rather, we believe in distributing wealth, in giving to the poor, giving to the needy, giving to those who do not have. Because in actual fact, if as a Christian you see someone close to you in need and you have and you do not give, you are actually not obeying the law of love. And finally, for today's episode, the Christian is one that is thankful for whatever he has, regardless of the status or regardless of the value. Because Paul said, I have learned to abound and I've learned to be abased. Whether we are rich or whether we are poor, whether we have wealth or whether we don't have it, we are joyful people. We are people who give thanks to God for what he has done for us. And in that regard, we don't allow the devil to make us feel that, oh, we need to compete with somebody, or we need to look at somebody else and say, oh, I must make this, I must do this, I must do that. No, we are thankful for whatever status we have per time, because we recognize that it is not whether we have wealth or we don't have wealth that qualifies us to be children of God. We remember the story of the rich man and Lazarus. Lazarus was able to make it to Abraham's bosom, but the rich man did not. In fact, Jesus said how hard it would be for a rich man to enter the kingdom. He said it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle. Does that mean there won't be rich people in heaven? No. I believe that what that statement by Jesus meant was actually that those who put their trust in the riches they have those who value maybe God's work, who value their wealth over God's work, who value the pursuit of riches over maybe, for instance, their family or other society or community concerns, are the ones that may not find it easy, to enter the kingdom of God. Because while they are supposed to be doing the work of the kingdom, they'll be chasing after how to make money or how to do some other things. We should realize that the work of God, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, relates to what God is interested in per time. And so that should always be our mindset, or as Christians, even as we go about our daily work, we should work. Yes, we should make money. We should multiply value. But even as we go about it per time, we should always ask ourselves, what does God want me to do today? What is the assignment that God has for me today? It should not just be only about how do I make money. No. When we do God's assignments, our needs will always be met. And I can share a testimony in that regard. I have so many testimonies, even from my parents. I have so many testimonies from my own personal life. I have so many testimonies. There are times I will need something, and I might look at my pockets. It looks like there is nothing there, but I might continue doing some other things. And before I know it, from an unexpected source, I would get what I need, or the blessing for what I need. And so, as I'll close tonight, I would just say thank you to everyone who joined me. And till I come your way again next week, this is Christianity Today, and I'm Onolu Abimbola. Stay blessed.